Hi everybody. This is Bonnie Barker with BonnieBayCrochet.com. I want to welcome you to Friday Fun Live. And who do we have here? We have Barbara. Hey Barbara. I'm going to go ahead and get my computer refreshed here so I can see any comments coming in. Thanks for being patient with me as I work this out. All right, let's go ahead and mute that because you don't need to hear my commercials. Hey Becky, thank you for joining us. We have Barbara with us, and that looks like we have 5 folks out there. I just want to thank you for being with me. We've got a lot of fun things this Friday. Let's see what we got here. The first thing, if you haven't subscribed already, I just wanted to ask you if you could hit subscribe and maybe that thumbs up button. That would be fantastic. And if you haven't hit the notification bell, if you could hit that, that way you'll get the notifications when I upload new videos. And if you've been following along, you know that this is the week starting February 3rd that we release the Colorful Cables Throw. I said Caleb, that's my son's name. Anyway, so that's coming this Monday. Can you believe this is January 31st already? The first month of 2020 is gone. So we're going to be into February starting tomorrow. Good golly, that happened fast. Well, let me see who else we have in our chat. I said hey to Barbara. So we have Tanya. She's hope you're doing well today. Yes, Tanya, really blessed. I'm enjoying the cooler, or actually the warmer summer here in South Carolina. The temperatures have been extremely moderate, and coming from a place where we're usually shoveling snow, that is a really great blessing for me. So we have Patsy from Illinois. Hope you're doing well, Patsy. And is it Yadra, if I'm saying that right? Medina saying, is it a cow? Is it a crochet along? Yes, ma'am. This is going to be a crochet along. It's going to last for 4 weeks. Of course, you can take your time and take as long as you need for this Afghan. This is the Afghan. I have a couple other videos, or actually a new intro video on my home page in YouTube introducing this Colorful Cables Throw. I can talk a little bit more about that in just a minute. Just want to say hey to some more of the people in here. I see Esther is there. Hi, Esther. Please give Joseph a hug for me. And Sarah, too. And you give your mom a big extra hug from me, okay? I love your mama. I wish I could see her more. Say hi to Arlene. Good, thanks for joining us. And Ronell from Greenville, Texas. Hope you're doing well out there. And Daisy. And let's see, who else do we have? Sander from Amsterdam in the Netherlands. Fantastic. Thank you guys. I just love learning geography from all of you. And just it's so cool that really this internet thing that we can do this and communicate instantaneously like this is still mind-boggling to me. I remember the days growing up where to make a long distance phone call outside of my city cost a lot of money, and we'd have to be real careful and time it. Those days are gone. I mean, with the internet, it's totally different now. Of course, that does take an investment to participate with this for sure. And Velma, and let's see who from Illinois. Got a couple people there from Illinois, and let's see who do we have here. Cheryl from Alabama. Heather, she's looking forward to the blanket, and then Sharon's Crochet Corner in Nova Scotia. Wow, I bet you guys are a lot colder than we are here. Thanks for joining us, Sharon. And Jacqueline from LA. Love visiting LA. I hope you all are doing well out there. And Kathleen Champ from Northern California. Shirley Waters from North Carolina. Hi, neighbor. I'm sitting over here in Conway, South Carolina, near Myrtle Beach, and loving it. Let's see, Sandy D. She says it's her first time, loving the throw. Great, Sandy. Just wanted to take a minute just to say thank you for all of you who've already downloaded the pattern. By you doing so, that really enables me to continue doing what I'm doing here. So thank you. For those of you who are brand new and have never heard of this, we are starting a brand new crochet along. It's going to pretty much go through the month of February, and it's called the Colorful Cables Throw. This is really an intermediate project, but if you're a confident beginner, which means that you're comfortable doing the single crochet, double crochet, treble crochet, half double crochet, I think you can learn the rest from these videos. Of course, you need to be advanced enough to be able to crochet a scarf, where you put one stitch in each stitch all the way across, and do that without thinking too much. And if you can do that without skipping stitches or adding extra stitches, to where the scarf looks really weird. If you can just do a normal scarf and follow directions, I think you'll be okay with this. Your project may not be perfect, but at best, at least I think you're going to be able to learn a lot of new stitches that will really help you to enjoy crocheting for a long, long time. The last thing I want people out there who crochet to do is to get bored with one or two things and then not feel like they can get past that. I just want you to know that it's not as hard as you think. These stitches intentionally look a little complicated, but they're really not when you take them stitch by stitch. So I hope that encourages some of you. There is a pattern available. It is for purchase. The price is set at $5.99. And I know for some of you that's a little bit of a struggle, and I understand that. However, think of it this way: if you're going to go out and eat a burger at McDonald's, or even get your latte with an extra shot of macchiato or whatever they put in those things, it's about the same price. And the pattern and the crocheting will last a whole lot longer than that burger or that hot drink from your favorite coffee shop. So if it helps you put it in perspective, that's my little pitch there. But I think most of you understand that. And just thank you that when you do purchase a pattern, whether it's my pattern or a book from Michael's or Amazon or even from anybody else that's out there that you like to follow, just know that by doing that, you really are directly supporting the designers and the creators, and it really does help them to be able to continue doing what they do. So I just, on behalf of all of us, I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Some of you are just amazing and faithful, and follow the copyright rules, and don't copy it for all your friends and all that, because that's actually federal copyright violation, actually internationally. But thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are probably the best thing about the internet out there. I said that before. I'm not trying to flatter you falsely. I promise you, it's just the truth. If you've ever been in other chat rooms and other subject areas and looked at some of the comments, and I don't recommend you do that, it can be quite a scary, evil place out there. You guys are amazing. And anyway, I don't want to go too far on that, because I'm going to get emotional and don't want to do that. I got a lot of fun stuff I want to say. Hey to more people too. Let's see. Cheryl Martin. I think I said, hey Cheryl from Alabama. Let me see who else we got. Ms. Deb in Southern Illinois. Welcome, welcome. And Brenda Rayburn from Virginia. She says, enjoy the beautiful weather. Yes, ma'am, I am. And really, I have some fun things to show you from being out yesterday. Kathy from Chicago. Kathy, thank you for joining me. And Anika. Okay, she says she's asking for prayer. If you guys could just please pray for Anika. She says, please pray for me. I can't sit and crochet. I've had days like that, Anika. I am so sorry to hear that. We will definitely pray for you. I will put you on my personal prayer list that I keep for my internet crochet friends. And that reminds me of another request. You guys are familiar with Bobby. He posts on here a lot. I don't know if he's able to come to this live broadcast, but he did email me this week and just ask for your prayers. So if you guys, those of you who are praying people, if you would please pray for Bobby, that would be great. He's a crocheter. He's a friend of our group here, and he is wheelchair bound, so he has a lot of limitations, and sometimes he has trouble. Sometimes he actually falls, and when you're already confined to a wheelchair and you have a fall, that's kind of a big deal. So, pray for Bobby that his health will continue to be good, and that he will just continue to be encouraged, or just pray whatever you feel led. But you know, if you could think of Bobby this week, I know that would really bless him. It would bless me too. Um, let's see. Kathy's looking forward to the crochet along. Yes, ma'am. I'm really looking forward to this one too. I've worked long and hard on this one, and I hope the videos show that. But this is a project that's been near and dear to my heart for a while. Daisy's asking, let's see, where's the question there? What is it called? Let me see. All my messages just jumped really fast. Okay. Says Christine. Okay, Tina from Baltimore. Hey, Tina, we're neighbors when I'm at home. Just about 40 minutes south of you there. And Brat's mom, welcome. Daisy has a question. She says, can I use 4-ply? I think that's fine. It depends on what you mean by 4-ply, because depending on whether you're in the US or Europe, that can mean different things. The words that I'm going to use are worsted weight or Aran weight. That might be a synonym that you would understand. I know some places 4-ply means DK. You can use DK, but it's going to be a lot smaller. So I would say a worsted weight is what you're going to need for this. And I do have a link. I know you've heard me talk a lot about this, and I'll go ahead and talk about this now. I got a flyer today in the mail from Love Crafts, and telling me that their paint box yarns are on sale. Some of them, the more higher end ones, the ones that might be cotton, and I think maybe the wool acrylic blend, you'd have to check their site to be sure, but some of them are up to 50% off. But now the ones that I chose for this, I chose the acrylic because it tends to be more cost effective for a lot of crocheters. But if you're one that wants to do it in cotton, just know that it's going to be a little heavier. But if I believe the cotton paint box yarns are on sale. The acrylic yarns, I looked today, and today I think is the end of the sale because this is through the end of January. Today the yarn for the acrylic is 35% off the regular price. And for those of you who've never ordered from this company, they do have a warehouse. Well, of course, they're a UK-based company, but they do ship out of the US. They have a warehouse that's based in the US. And that's been the problem in the States, is this yarn went out of stock. The colorway went out of stock. But I checked this morning, and let me explain an alternative that you can do if you still don't have the yarn for this project and you would like to order it. I would encourage you to do it today. I do have an affiliate link in the box below, in the description box. And again, my disclaimer on that is if you use that link, I do benefit in a small way, but it doesn't cost you anything extra. Or if you're more comfortable just ordering, just through their link without my affiliate link, that's totally fine. It's going to cost you the same either way. But the yarn colorway that I personally chose is called Wanderlust. And let me tell you the colors that are in this. I'm going to be very specific here. The colors are misty gray, sea foam blue, vanilla cream, pistachio green, vintage pink, light caramel, stormy gray, peach orange, banana cream, and duck egg blue. All that information I just read is in the video description below, so don't feel like you have to write all this down. I even have the numbers of these colors there. Now the missing colors, which is why the colorway is not available. Okay, all those colors that I read are the Wanderlust colorway that's been out of stock for probably the last month, which I did not anticipate this being a problem at all. Had I known that, I probably would have chosen a different color, or maybe held off on this crochet along. But I scheduled it way back in November, so it is what it is. But let me give you an alternative if you still want to start with this yarn early February. Now, I was told that this yarn is expected back in stock in early February, but exactly when that is, I don't know. But I'll tell you what's in stock right now, okay? All of the colors that I listed, except these three, vanilla cream, stormy gray, and duck egg blue. Those are the three culprits. Those are the three colors that sold out. Now, I looked at the colorway, and I think what you can do if you wanted to order it all, you could order a couple other colors to substitute for it. So for the color vanilla cream, which is kind of a light coffee color, you can substitute a color called soft fudge. Now it's a darker brown, but yet it's still a warm neutral that I think would go in the colorway just fine. Um, and you can even reverse the two, the darker or the other brown that I use in this, what's it called? Anyway, you can, play around with this and substitute. I think just be fine. Now the misty gray, quite honestly, you can substitute, let me see, the stormy gray that's out of stock. I would encourage you instead to just buy 3 scans of the misty gray instead and just use that, because one of those colors, I can't remember which gray it is, but it really doesn't matter. You only use for the border, and that's only for 2 rounds, and you could easily substitute other colors for that. And for the duck egg blue, I would recommend substituting washed teal. That's number 232. Again, all this information's in the video description. So what I'm recommending is you could order these colors individually. And as far as the gray goes, you really only need 3 of those, because on color number 10, I'm only used 1 scan. So if you buy the 2 10 packs, you're going to have 1 extra scan. But I think it's still more convenient to just buy it as a pack. However, you can look in the description like I just read, and you can order each of these individually and just order 2 of each. And substituting, the colors I recommended, and just order 3 of the misty gray that's already in stock, and you don't need to, substitute, an additional color for that. I hope that's not too crazy confusing. It probably was, but just a suggestion. And I actually got that suggestion from some of you all who said, why don't you just substitute with some of the other colors? And I'm like, duh, that's a great idea. And this is the good news, is that it doesn't cost you any more. It's going to be the same price whether you buy it as a 10 pack or as individual colors. So I hope that's helpful. I never meant for this to get so complicated, but life is messy sometimes, and doesn't always go the way we want. Let me see if there's anything else. Okay, so now, and I did mention the pattern for this throw is available. And just to let you know, there's a lot in the pattern. There's a lot of stitch support in the pattern. I have pictures of every stitch. And this pattern is in size 12 font. I didn't, oversize the font or anything. It still ended up being 17 pages long. So, it is $5.99, but I think you're getting a little, get your money's worth out of this one. I certainly put a lot of time into it. One thing that is, I put in the back as a worksheet, and I noticed on Facebook that someone actually filled this in with the colors they intend to use. This is just a worksheet of it just lists the name of the stitches, and it's just to help you understand, for example, if you want to change up the colors and you want just a rough idea what it's going to look like, this is the way you can do this. And what I did initially when I was designing this, mine was actually much bigger, and I taped a strand of the yarn to the section. Another idea, maybe a better idea, is if you have a crayon box, one of those, 100 color, 120 color Crayola crayon box, and you can match the color to the yarn that you like, or maybe you want to look at your living room and pick out maybe 10 colors, or maybe only 5 colors that you want to use, or maybe you just want this to be a solid color and just make it really easy. You can do that. But what this page is in there, this is towards the back of the pattern. It's the next to the last page. It's just there really as a coloring sheet, so you can color and put colors in that you like. Now, if you don't like what you do after you finish the sheet, well, print page 16 of the pattern out again and try another color scheme, you know, and this way you can, you know, to figure out what you like, you know, instead of, you know, having gone through, you know, 50 rows and decide I don't like the way this looks, you know, do this and, you know, pencil it out. And this is what designers do. This is what we do. We draw it out on paper and, you know, and experiment in that way. Well, I missed a ton of comments and I'm sorry about that. Um, just to let you all know, I do go over these each week and I try to, you know, answer questions. If there's a question I don't answer during the live broadcast, please post it after the video has rendered and when it's replaying. If you could post it in the comment section once that becomes available, I promise I will answer it for sure that way. There's no way for me to answer once I go off the live broadcast in this group chat. And that's what Becky's there for. Well, I do see Peggy from Dublin. That catches my attention every time. Hey, Peggy. Love, love, love your country. Oh my gosh, I was so inspired. I don't know if you knew it, but your country inspired me to write my very first crochet book. After spending time in Dublin and driving around, oh my gosh, that was an exciting drive. Driving on the left side of the road as an American, oh boy, that was, I'll have to tell you that story sometime. Just getting out of that parking garage at the airport with the rental car. I'll go ahead and tell it. What the heck? That was just really scary for us. I teased my husband and told him that was the best ab exercise I had in my life because every time we get close to one of those stone walls, I'm kind of like, ugh, you know, and contract everything in my tummy. So it was a great ab exercise driving in Dublin and on the outskirts. Just getting out of the parking garage. If you can imagine all you Americans out there, you're driving on the left side of the road, and this was in 2012 when we went, and it happened to be the same time when they were having a very special game, a football game, where Navy and Notre Dame were playing one another in Dublin. So all those wonderful Americans rented all the automatic cars. So the only ones we had that were available to rent were a standard transmission car, which we can drive standard transmission. That's not an issue because we're old enough to have you know, seen a time where it was just better to have that type of a car because it was more economical. Well, in UK countries, in Ireland, with a 5-speeder, you're shifting with your left hand. So it's the opposite hand that you would normally drive a manually operated transmission in a car. So we're shifting with the left hand. We're on the opposite side of the car and we're having to drive on the opposite side of the road. Now imagine all of that and you're in a parking garage and you've got to figure out how to get out of a parking garage where everything is really tight and there's no room for error. Let me just say that was one of the more exciting times in my life. And we don't do that very often, but anyway, and to let you, my Australian friends know, it was I think because of that, we kind of were baptized by fire, as it were, in that sense. But so when we were able to drive in Australia, it was a lot easier for us. I think the roads are larger in Australia. I think they're because they're newer, you know, than the ones in Dublin, but and on the outskirts of the country there. But anyway, love, love, love your country. I'm so looking forward to possibly going back if I can. So we have Connie from Rainy, Washington. Hey, Connie. And let's see, Tinke, Tinike, from the Netherlands. I'm probably mispronouncing your name, sweetheart. I'm so sorry, but I see you a lot. Thank you for your faithfulness. Let's see what we got here. I think you, Miss Deb. She's like, she's only been crocheting for a year and she's able to do a lot. Thank you. I'm so glad you can follow my tutorials. I think part of that has come from being a substitute teacher for years and places, and also teaching preschoolers. I mean, you guys are far beyond preschoolers, but you know, having to break it down into chunks that are understandable, I think has really helped me to be able to do that. And And then Margaret from Flintstone, Maryland. Well, I've never heard of that town. Margaret, thank you for joining us. If you ever get over to Gaithersburg, please let me know, and when I'm in town or back home again. We got Lazy Linda Crocheter. Thank you for your support, Linda. And again, if you guys ever have problems with these patterns or anything, please tell me. If you think there's a problem, let me know. Before you go take to the internet, and I know you're not that type, but before you go to Ravelry and places where all those chat rooms, let me know. And I mean, let me make it right if you see something that may be an issue. Or if you're just having, a problem with some of these stitches, I have a lot of extra videos online that will help support this. Well, I've got a lot of great comments in here. Thank you, guys. Vicky from Missouri. I see Lynn Guider. Thank you for joining us from Chicago, my friend. We have Scott Fitt. He says, they say roads are very small here in Scotland. I was in the UK and back in the fall, and yes, they are small. One thing I noticed too is that the speed limits are a lot slower than what we're used to in the States. So that was, it was interesting, but, beautiful, beautiful country. Never been to Scotland, but I'd like to go a little bit further north maybe at some point and get there. And we have J Hook Crochet from Germany. Thank you for joining. I actually met a friend of Mrs. Barker's, my mother-in-law. He's from Germany and came by to visit he and his wife, and found out that he's an engineer for the Autobahn. So that was pretty cool. So we got to meet someone who actually helps to engineer and build the Autobahn over there in your beautiful country. And we have Trish from Winnipeg, Manitoba. Wow. Welcome, Trish. That is so cool. And another Lynn from Canada. Thank you, Evelyn, for your kind comment. Thank you, Michelle. That's very sweet of you. And Mary. Gosh, you guys are so sweet. And we have Freaky Geek. Welcome, welcome. I love your little ducky emoji there. That is so cool. And, well, anyway, let me go ahead and get through my agenda here. I'm probably going to be a little bit over my 30 minutes, but that's okay. Let's see. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys, we passed the 90,000 subscriber mark this week. How amazing is that? Yay! So thank you for your support and your faithfulness. And I know a lot of you share, tell others about the channel. Thank you. By your faithfulness doing that, you are helping me to continue to do what I do, and to really enjoy it, and actually to be able to pay a few bills here and there. So thank you for your faithfulness. I never dreamed in a million years that I'd be able to do crocheting full time. I've been doing it since I was 7, and yes, we're coming up on really a half centennial. Be celebrating 50 years this year of crocheting, which, golly gee whiz, that's a long time. Well, I wanted to show you something. Many of you, let me see what else I have here. Yesterday, well, before I say that, I want to also thank you for praying for me and for my mother-in-law. Many of you know I'm in South Carolina, and Becky and I are tag teaming, having it's the joy of helping to care for my mother-in-law, who's taken such great care of our family for so many years. And it really is a privilege to do this. But yesterday, we were able to get out and do some errands together, and it was wonderful. And she is feeling better, but she is in her 90s, so health issues don't tend to go away at this point. We all kind of know where this is heading. I mean, this is just our mortality showing. But she's a lovely Christian woman, very cheerful, and even through pain. So, but anyway, we were out, and got to do one of our favorite things. Maybe one of your favorite things too. We got to go to the Dollar Tree. I mean, that's one of my favorite places to go. And I saw an idea in a magazine this week that I want to pass on to you all, because I know you have fiber friends and everything. And, sometimes when it comes to Valentine's Day, chocolate and things like that aren't exactly the best way to bless people, especially if they're older and have health issues. I really hope I don't get any chocolate this this year for Valentine's Day. My husband knows better. It would just be a temptation, and especially since I've really worked hard. Um, and I'll talk about that in a second about my weight loss journey. But and I'm feeling a lot better. But I was at the Dollar Tree. I got this idea from a magazine. It's not my personal idea, but they had these beautiful, beautiful tins. These beautiful tins that you can put anything in. And most people think of Valentine's Day, they think of candy. And I thought of you guys when I saw that you are awesome, because you guys are. So I thought, I'm going to show you this. And this is, this reminded me of you guys. But anyway, what I could put in here, look at this, bonbons. How about that? So I loaded it with my, my Good Loops cotton bonbons that I brought home from Vogue Knitting Live. I brought this home from the yarn table where I was working. So isn't that a fun idea? Or maybe, for a guy, if your husband or significant other or, friend doesn't crochet, maybe they like, I don't know, fish and tackle or something. You can just load one of these up with a bunch of, new, tackle gear. Or, let me see, you can probably fit an iPhone in there if you want to be really generous to somebody. Or maybe a set of earbuds, or electronic things for a teenager. So really it's really up to you. I mean, anything that will fit in here, would be a real blessing, I think, for fun. And this was only $1. I mean, this was 99 cents from the Dollar Tree. Of course, it doesn't close real well because I put all this yarn in here, but you could tape it shut or just, put it in differently. And I just thought I'd pass that along to you. In the magazine article that I saw, it showed how you could create, make your own cardboard box. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. It's a lot of trouble too. And just the supplies alone that it would take to make it that way would probably cost me a few dollars, but this is only $1. And they had like, little tiny boxes, and they actually had larger boxes, again, for only $1. So if you have a Dollar Tree in your neighborhood, check it out. I don't know if they have those overseas, in Europe and in other parts of the world, but in the United States, they're very popular. Let's see. I wanted to also let you know that I did take my weight loss story down from a public video, mostly because the deal that I talked about in that is no longer available. I actually graduated out of the Noom program. I don't feel it's necessary for me to continue to pay for the program, and because of that, I can't offer you guys that 20% discount if you wanted to start it. I still think it's a great program if you wanted to pay for the entire program. But I wanted to share something else with you, because a lot of people emailed me or they commented in the box and said, I really can't afford that. And I totally understand that. This was actually the first time in my life that I actually paid for a program like that. And really by doing so, I think it made me work the program even more than I normally would have, because I had skin in the game. I had money I put up front that was a lot for me too. It was $150 initially. Well, actually, that's all I paid total for a 6-month period, and it was worth every penny and more. I promise you. However, I didn't know this until recently. You can go in to the App Store if you have an iPhone, and I think I don't know how it works with the Android, but I think you could probably do something similar wherever you get your apps for your device. And you can upload for free the Noom app. Now, if you do that, you'll be able to count calories. It will calculate it for you. And I think you can find that to be very helpful. And that was the main thing that served me. I did do the weigh-in every morning. And that helped me to see just how weight, doesn't go down like this, but it kind of goes up and down, up and down, up and down. But, as long as you're gradually going down, you're good. Um, Again, I'm not trying to push that on you guys at all. This is just an option, and I know some of you, it may not be helpful. But if you want to see my complete story, just know that that offer is no longer available that I talk about in the video. I do have that link still, and I put it in the video description. It's an unlisted link. You can click on it and still watch it. It's just not publicly advertised any longer, okay? So if some of you who just are really constrained financially and you still want to try the counting calories thing, this app makes it a breeze. It really does. And it really educates you. You can hit the little analysis button when you after you enter in your food, and that'll tell you, how good or how not so good the food that you're eating is. And I learned a ton of it, and I felt like I knew a lot about nutrition going into this, but I learned a lot more. I learned that some of the things I stayed away from that were good for me because I was afraid of the sugar because I read in another book about it. And it really got me to eating a lot more vegetables. Well, I was already eating vegetables, but it helped me to feel freer to eat a lot more fruit. And so I was able to see that I could eat some of the fruit that's the higher in sugar, like grapes, every day and still lose weight without a problem. So again, I'm not trying to harp on that unnecessarily. I just wanted to let you all know why I took that video down, but it's still available to you should you need to take a look at that. And as crocheters, we sit a lot. I mean, when we do our craft, it's not a real aerobic exercise, unfortunately. But that might be a way to to help keep you around a little bit longer on this earth and healthy, because you're my friends, and I just want to share what I've learned. I'm plugging along here, very grateful to the Lord, and just trying to stay around and up and working. My husband likes to travel for business and everything. I love to go with him, but I need to be healthy in order to do that, and I want to do that for many, many years. Okay, let me see if I've covered everything else. Just a couple things here. Let me see if there's anything in here. Becky, is there anything I need to... Okay, I'm just going to have to catch up on this later. But again, I will be reading. Looks like you guys are talking about some interesting things there. So it looks like fun. I have to read that later because I know some of you don't have all day to sit here. Let's see. CGOA, Crochet Guild of America. The classes, the sign up for those classes will be coming out in late February. I know I gave you guys a preview last week. You can look at last week's Friday Fun Live if you're interested in some of the classes I'm going to be teaching there. But they will not officially be up for sign up until the week of February 24th. So that's the word I got recently. If you are in the Loveland, Colorado area, or if it's not a hardship to travel to that area, I will be teaching some classes in late April, specifically April 29th and 30th. So I'm so excited. I'm just getting really excited about that. I love Colorado. I love the Rocky Mountains and that whole area. I've only been out there once. So I'm really looking forward to a return trip. So the information, I believe it's in the video description below. If it's not, it will be there later on. Or you can go to yarnfest.com and you can see all the teachers' offerings. There's going to be a lot of things there, both knit and crochet. And that's the last thing I wanted to talk about. So many of you may not know, but I have some beginning knitter projects on my YouTube channel. They're very basic. And if any of you have ever wanted to learn how to knit, I think you might like these videos because I had tried to knit for many years. I put a little bit of my story, well, if you have my first book, Contemporary Celtic Crochet, I actually, at that point when I was writing it, I did not knit. I had tried and I could do it, but I just didn't enjoy the journey. But since then, I've learned from my good friend Svetlana Ford at the So Original Yarn Store in Maryland. That was going on 3 years ago. It's been a little while. I haven't spent a lot of time with it, but I have learned a lot. And there are certain keys to doing this if you're going from being a long-time crocheter. There are a couple really cool secrets, and you can find them out in the videos. But I wanted to show you real quickly my latest yarn, uh, knit crate crochet. Try this again. Knit crate knitting project that I'm working on. I need to get a larger string here. I need to replace this, but this is what I'm working on now, and it's really, once I take it off the wire, I'll show this to you when I finish it. But it's going to be a lot of fun, and this yarn is absolutely beautiful. This is, again, some of the knit crate yarn. I've got that link in the description. I was going to say the basement, but in the description box below. But this yarn has been wonderful. This is 100% superwash wool. It's hand dyed, and I'm really enjoying it. There's going to be 2 balls of these to this project, and the kit costs like $25. And that's it. And with the kit, I've also got a booklet with the patterns, and that's what I'm following. So I'm following this designer's pattern, and I'm learning new things. I've learned how to make baubles in crochet. Listen to me, I can't get that word out of my vocabulary. Learning how to make baubles in knit, and it's not as hard as I thought. And like crochet has about 5 or 6 basic stitches that you need to know before you can really get into a lot of fancier things. Knitting has 2, knit and purl, and that's it. So I'm finding that this is actually in many ways easier than crochet. Of course, there is that learning curve you have to overcome, but it's very, very easy to transition using the continental method. And if you look on my channel, and I'll try to put these links below. I didn't put them in there yet, but I have them labeled beginning knitting for crocheters. If you just Google beginning knitting for crocheters in the YouTube search box, they should come up, because they're about the only ones that are labeled that way. So, just in case you guys are interested. And I did block that shawl that I showed you. I don't know if I showed it to you blocked last week. I blocked it a couple days ago, and look at this. This is another project I did from the knit crate yarn and free pattern. And I think I showed this to you last week, but I'll show you again. I learned how to do the basket weave. And again, it's not as hard as you would think. Now, there is counting involved. You have to be able to count to 10. Okay? But anyway, I'm just really, really, really excited, because I've always wanted to be comfortable doing this. And one of the classes that I'm teaching in Colorado is beginning knitting for crocheters. You have to be a crocheter to take this class, okay? And I'm also teaching that same class in New Orleans in July for the CGOA, and I'm just trying to get the word out there that knitters are they're smart people, but you know what? I think it takes. I may get in trouble for saying this, but I think it takes more. I think you have to be smarter to be a crocheter, because we have to learn a lot more basic stuff, and that needle, that crochet hook, has to do a lot of things to form these stitches. For these knit stitches, you can stick the needle in, put the yarn around it, and pull it out and pull the stitch off. That's how you form the stitches. It's easier in some ways, okay? Again, learning curve, yes. But I just wanted to encourage you guys who are like me, who are just afraid of this. Someone tried to teach you real fast at one point and just totally confuse you. Don't let that happen. Take a look at some of my videos, and if you need to slow them down, there's a little sprocket on the bottom right of the screen if you're watching on a computer. It looks like a little gear. If you click that, you can actually change the speed of a video. You can change it, slow it down, you can speed it up. If you're on a cell phone, if you look at the upper right corner, there's 3 dots, 3 vertical dots. If you click on that, you can actually change the speed of the playback that way. And Android, I think it's the same with the ... but I'm not really sure, because I don't have Android phone. But anyway, It is, oh my gosh, it's like 12:45. I'm so sorry to go so late, but love, love, love hanging with you guys. And I want to do a Friday Fun Live where I'm just reading your comments at some time in the future, but there's so much going on. I just wanted to let you know about. And anyway, let me just check real quick to see if there's anything else. Yes, Scott Fit says ordering in the UK may be different. Yes, the UK, I believe the UK has a lot of the yarn. I'm going back to talking about the Afghan now, or the throw. I believe their stock has been okay. It's just the US. Um, and I think their yarn should have been restocked in at the end of January. So, see, Sharon's Crochet Corner says she's making one of your baby blankets and she's almost done. I would love to see that, Sharon. If you could maybe post it on the Bonnie Bay Crochet Facebook page, or if you could just send it to me at bonniebay@me.com. The links are in the video description. I would just love to see your work. Um, One other thing I am going to try to do is I'm not real good at some of this stuff, but I'm gonna try to set up a separate Facebook page um, for the Colorful Cables Throw. I haven't done that yet, but when I do, I will post that link probably with the videos once they release on Monday. So I'm gonna look online and try to go ahead and figure out how to do that today or tomorrow, and that way we can have a page that's just, and I guess the way they do those, I think you have to ask to be a part of it, which is, if you just send me a link saying, I want to be a part of it, that's fine. Then you can be in our little private group chat about this. So and I'd like to try to make it public. I need to look on Facebook to see how to do this. Again, I don't spend a lot of time there. But I'm going to try to set up a separate page so that we can post things as we do the progress. And also wanted a place for you guys to contact direct if you're having any problems with some of these stitches, or if there's any questions. I want to be able to answer them for everybody, at one place. So be on the lookout for that when that first video comes on Monday, okay? And if you could, if you could subscribe and hit the thumbs up if you guys have joined me late, that would be great. And that just helps the word to go out further to other people who love crochet, and I just want people to join us. Yeah, Cindy says that's a great idea. Thank you, Cindy. I'm going to try to do that. Okay, and Gail says yes, Android is the same. Thank you, Gail, for the feedback on that. There's just so much in this techie world now. You have to be a robot to know it all. I mean, there's so many little pieces out there. I mean, I know how to do a lot of things to get my work done, but there's so many other things. Well, I just got a text from my husband saying hello, so he may need me for something, so I probably need to go. Yeah, so, well, anyway, this has been great. Thank you guys for joining me again. And Becky, thank you for moderating for us. I'll have to tell you guys, Becky was actually monitoring the chat today from an undisclosed location, but I will say that it is outside of a film studio somewhere in Atlanta, Georgia. She was actually on a TV film set this morning, so keep in touch. We'll let you know when what she did, but we can't say anything about it now. But I mean, she's an extra. She's not like a movie star or anything, but she gets to hang around these people and be in shots with them and stuff, which is kind of exciting. Her ultimate goal, I believe, I think it's okay if I share this with everybody. Is it, Becky? Let me see. She's messaging now. Let me see. Da 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 da. Her real goal is to be able to be part of the creation part of some really excellent content. As you know, a lot of TV, movie content these days is not so great. And my kids have gone into the film business. They really want to change that, to make it more edifying, to make it just better. If you can understand what I'm trying to say. And if, and I will ask on their behalf, if you could just pray for them. I would really appreciate that as a mom. Both of them, including my son-in-law Brian, are kind of in a situation now where they take work where they can get it, but it's oftentimes below minimum wage. It's just extra kind of work, and they're kind of in the starving artist phase of their life right now. So, I just would ask if you could just encourage, just pray for them with me. We're hoping that this will be something that can be their livelihood in the future. It's a little bit of a stretch right now, but anyway, so she was able to, just to let you know, Becky was actually in some program that you would know the name of if you watch TV at all. And when that particular episode comes out, I will let you know. I usually post on my Facebook page, or I'll try to remember to let you guys know, okay, she's going to be on this week. It's just kind of fun, kind of a fun thing. Or I know Brian's actually still on a film set on a different program this morning. So anyway, but enough of that. But thank you again for joining us. Thank you for helping us to grow to 90,000 subscribers. I never really envisioned that happening. We are less than 10,000 away from 100,000, which would be an incredible goal. I'm really looking forward to that. So if you know of anybody that wants to learn how to crochet, who needs to learn how to crochet, or even beginning knitting, tell them to come check out our channel. It's a no drama channel, I believe. We try to stick to the craft. We don't get political on anybody, or at least that's never our intent. We love everybody, no matter what your background, where you're from. We don't like to discriminate on that. I personally love the Lord. Hopefully that's not too offensive to some of you. If it is, I'm sorry, but you know what? That's part of who I am. That's part of what Bonnie Bay Crochet is all about. It's just, kind of in our DNA. You can say, oh, it's not really, but you know what I'm saying. So that's why we end our programs every week, and we just say, God bless you. And if you have any prayer requests you want me to be praying for you, I sincerely will add you to the list, and we'll pray for you this week. Anyway, again, God bless you. Love you guys so much. Bye-bye.